But Daniel, in his prophecy about this, is not just Daniel 9:27. It's Daniel 8, 9, 10, 11. They all give the whole context of this whole situation.
Yeah, but there
But
is
Daniel
only
9:27 specifically says the abomination of desolation. You understand?
combination. That's it. Yeah.
So they take it and say, okay, it's only Daniel 9:27, but they ignore the rest of the context and the reading of what it is and who is the Antichrist.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode. I'm joined by Michael Kahn. Glad to make it, and yeah, today's gonna be exciting because we're gonna practically just do a recap of yesterday's one, the important information, and presenting new information as well.
Yeah, I just want to clarify what I was talking about yesterday because I was like tripping. I got that many tabs open and I'm never prepared to present. I'm no presenter. I just want to just clarify just so that people understand what it is I was actually saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's important that they realize what we're saying. Unfortunately, the Satan short seasonists aren't really going to understand because they don't want to. But it's for everyone else. We're just going to clarify more or less what we were saying yesterday and give new information, that things he didn't present, and to show you why pushing what is being pushed is it's just not good. Let's place it that way.
So if I just share my screen.
Yes, do so.
Oh, here we go. As soon as you open to share, it's like it's crazy. Right.
And we put
I'm
it
sharing.
on. Yes,
I
it's
can't.
yeah.
I don't think I can zoom it in much more.
No, it's fine. I
Cool.
mean, it is Daniel 9, guys, so you're able to go to your Bibles and see it for yourself if you really need to.
So I just want to cover what I was saying yesterday. So in Daniel 9:25, it tells us that there shall be 7 weeks and then 62 weeks the street shall be built up again. So between this point and this point comes to 483 years. Now what I was saying yesterday is if you
change your
just
calendar.
like Jews use like a 360-day calendar.
Mm-hmm.
If you swap it to our solar calendar, that 483 years becomes 476 years.
Interesting.
Yeah. Then if you swap from BC to AD and you take into account for year 0, falls bang on 33 AD, which is when most agree that Jesus were
fulfilled, yeah.
crucified. There is some claims of 31 AD, but there's things that don't match, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much established that it was 33 AD. So that takes us up to that 483 year mark, which leaves
which is still leaves a week. The last 7 years.
The last week.
Mm-hmm.
And as we looked in Matthew, Jesus speaking about the abomination of desolation precedes the Great Tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
So that this, if I just swap to that, it's like Banjo's got it here as being that last 7 years starting at Jesus' baptism. Yeah.
Yeah, and that doesn't work.
26 to 27.
Yeah,
AD.
he said it was fulfilled at his baptism, not his death and resurrection.
Now that's a problem because that 7 years is the Great Tribulation period, you know, the 7 trumpets and all that business.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that tribulation is happening while Jesus is on earth doing his ministry, which don't make any sense.
Nope.
Let's go back to this.
But did you watch
So
that?
this 7 year period don't fall. It don't just carry on. You know what I mean? There's a gap.
Yeah.
If you're going to say that when temple were destroyed in 70 AD, that's the abomination of desolation. That it don't follow. It don't continuously follow, does it?
No, because then they've had what, like a 40-year delay.
Yeah.
So they've had that delay, and then also the 70 AD destruction doesn't even fit the abomination of desolation anyway.
No. No.
It's
But
just
then when we
yeah.
yeah, but then when we read in 926, and it says, and after the free score and 2 weeks, so after the 62 weeks, the 435 years, Messiah shall be cut off. You can't take that in any other way than that's the crucifixion,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know. And as we said, but not for himself, because he died for sins, didn't he? Like, so
Hmm.
his sacrifice weren't for himself.
Exactly. And that's why I have an issue with Banjo claiming that the he who he claims to be Messiah is not the Antichrist, when it's very clear in 26 that he's cut off. So once he's cut off, as you said, that means it's his death and resurrection. So he's cut off from that. So the Antichrist is the one who establishes that last week, because he is the son of perdition. He's the one who comes with a false peace for the Jews to rebuild the temple and let them have their sacrifices again. So it clearly makes a point where Jesus gets cut off from the Jews, you know, to when the Antichrist, the false Messiah, shows up for the Jews. And I think we might need to go through Romans 11:12 today as well, to make
Yeah.
it very clear that all the Jews will be saved through this great tribulation and the Antichrist revealing and things. And the fact that all the Jews aren't saved today also debunks the fact that they're claiming that the abomination of desolation happened, that Jesus has returned. Because once Jesus returns, all the Jews are saved.
Yeah. Correct. And we'll also go to Daniel 11 as well, I think. But this is also a problem. Like, we make a covenant with many for 1 week. That's 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus,
Jesus' everlasting covenants.
yeah. Every time you read about covenant and it's always everlasting. You know what I mean? It's never
Yeah.
a 7 year period. That don't make any sense. You know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Do you want to present that Josephus?
Yeah. I just want to. What do I want to do? I just want to have a look. I want to have a look at. It's not going to share it. 1 second. I'm going to have to stop sharing and reshare.
Yeah, you're not sharing it all there at the moment. Oh, he's dropped. I'll have to get him back in now. When he comes in, I'll just accept him. But guys, hit the likes, share the show. Appreciate you all. Again, I just want to reiterate, we're not here to attack anyone or anything. We're just here to give correct doctrine. No stress. I saw you removed yourself.
I'm all over the place. Like, I can't think straight anymore.
No stress, brother.
I want to have a look at.
Oh, he's dropped again, guys. I don't know if it's his internet connection. But yeah, he'll come in again now. Just want to again say, remember, we're not here to badmouth or anything. We're just here for correction, as the Bible tells us to give correction. So I pray you with a humble heart you accept it, and look at your Bibles. Okay, there we go. Michael, you're back again.
Sorry, I keep pressing wrong. But
Remember, you haven't
leaving studio to share screen.
yeah, remember, you haven't presented yet. So as soon as you press it, you're clicking your own remove button.
Yeah. So, like, we need to understand what is the abomination of desolation.
Mm-hmm.
This is 1 Maccabees. If we read from 54. Now the 15th day of the month, Casler, in 145th year, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judea on every side. And then if we move a little bit further down, it it says they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God. So this abomination of desolation has happened before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's literally idolatry in house of God, sacrificing to false
Pagan,
gods
false god, yeah.
on the actual altar of God,
Mm-hmm.
thus desolating the temple.
Yeah, this was the first temple, just so everybody
Yeah.
wants to know. They were desecrated, the first temple. And I just want to point out that Daniel was speaking about the second, the temple that has not come yet.
Yeah.
So, when...
But where I'm going with is Banjo were claiming that Jesus is the one who causes the abomination of desolation.
No. Yeah, but like we were saying, even the last time, he doesn't work with abominable works, okay? So he doesn't do that. He's not going to cause a desolation based on abominations. And based on what you're seeing in the Maccabees as well, it was very specific to making abominations in the holy place. Now, why would God go and make abominations in his own holy temple?
Exactly. That there's the linchpin in it, You're literally swapping out the son of perdition, the Antichrist, for Jesus.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
By the way, I did tag Eddie with the video I released from yesterday. Oh, he's gone again. And we're just waiting for Eddie to reply. Hopefully he does, because he likes to, just not reply to us for some reason. That's what they all do, unfortunately. They take jabs. Even announces us and then refuses to actually rebut anything.
What on earth am I doing, man?
You keep clicking remove. No stress, man. I was just saying to everybody, I tagged Eddie on yesterday's video, so we'll see if he gives a response.
Yeah. I just want to bring up 2 Thessalonians.
Oh, yes, please. That's one of my favorite verses, actually, about
I would do if it was showing. Where is it?
Yeah, 2 Thessalonians 2. The reason I enjoy 2 Thessalonians 2 about the abomination of desolation, because it makes it very clear. It tells you exactly what is for what, and it's giving you the link to the son of perdition. And if you look through it, it's definitely not the Antichrist. Can definitely not be Jesus. There we go. It's on screen.
So,
man of lawlessness.
Man of lawlessness. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken of mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Christ is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Which is happening now.
Pardon?
Which is happening now. The falling away is happening as we speak.
Definitely.
And the man of sinners hasn't been revealed yet.
No. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Why would Jesus be doing that?
Oh, yeah, but why? But also based on, is there a temple at the moment for this to happen? No. And has this happened in the second temple?
See that's the thing we're claiming 70 AD, temple being destroyed as the abomination of desolation, because that the tribulation follows that, and then Jesus don't come till after tribulation. In fact, let's open Matthew 24 again.
Yeah.
1 minute.
But while he's getting that, exactly that's why I like 2 Thessalonians 2 so much, because it gives you an outline straight which conveys Matthew 24, where he cannot come until these things have happened. Okay? So we are in the falling away as we see at the moment, and there is no son of perdition being revealed yet, which is the Antichrist, because we don't have a temple yet. Now the Jews are trying to build this temple. And just the fact that it's telling us that the son of perdition will be revealed okay, in the temple, declaring himself as God, which is the abomination of desolation. That's literally telling you that's not Jesus. So that's literally going against Bandra's word in Matthew 9, 27, claiming he that is the son of perdition, the Antichrist, is the Messiah.
Yep. Yep. So if we look at, I'm sharing Matthew 24.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So if we read on perilous times. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. This is speaking about Daniel 9:27, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Daniel 9. Yeah. Well,
Then
actually,
let him...
it's not actually just Daniel 9:27. It's the
Well,
whole
no,
of
it's...
it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
It's 8, it's
people
pretty
make
much 7, 8, 9,
10, 11.
11,
The thing
12.
is, people just insinuate this is about Daniel 9:27. You understand? But he Daniel in his prophecy about this is not just Daniel 9:27. It's Daniel 8, 9, 10, 11. They all give the whole context of this whole situation.
Yeah, but there
But
is
Daniel
only
9:27 specifically says the abomination of desolation. You understand?
abomination, that's it, yeah.
So they take it and say, okay, it's only Daniel 9:27, but they ignore the rest of the context and the reading of what it is and who is the Antichrist.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. One to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on the Sabbath day. Did you want to say something?
And yeah, remember that video I sent you yesterday?
Yeah.
Which is actually great because he explains this part actually so perfectly with visuals, you know? Like, where do the Jews actually go? Where they flee to be saved from the Armageddon, during this Armageddon time. And this war coming. And where Jesus and where the rest of us are. It's actually very good.
Well, like it says here, but pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, because they're not going to be able to get far enough away.
No, they won't.
Like on a Sabbath day's
No one
journey,
works.
remember, pretty much about as far as Mount of Olives.
Yeah, exactly.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. So when it says, when therefore shall ye see the abomination of desolation, so that starts the great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be. This is suggesting that this is worse
Even
than
worse.
flood of Noah.
Yeah, it's worse than everything.
Yeah.
Worse than
So,
any tribulation that has ever come upon any person. And I mean, if we look through history, there's been some really, really bad things, tribulation and persecution against peoples. So imagine how it's going to be now being in the Great Tribulation.
And then it goes on to say, and except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. But for the elect's sake, believers,
those days should be shortened.
Those days shall be shortened. So, like, if God didn't intervene in this and shorten the days, then we'd all be dead.
Yep. Exactly.
Then, if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there is Christ, believe it not. But I thought, according to Banjo, Jesus was the one causing the abomination of desolation.
Yeah, why would... there's just so much wrong with what they're claiming, man.
For then shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he's in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he's in the secret chambers, believe it not. I mean, what a Satan short season is telling us. Well, Jesus returned, but is in North Pole. Or,
he's hiding away.
You'll not, when Jesus returns, you'll know that he's returned, and you'll know he's here all permanently. Like,
exactly.
There's no
third coming. He doesn't go back to heaven. He stays here on earth.
these things are going to be sure, to the elect anyway, I would imagine. For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Like, this event's going to be epic. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be eagles be gathered together. So, like I said yesterday, you can guarantee if you see eagles circling, there's a carcass somewhere abouts. You know what I mean? That's out that. So, like, it's literally saying, like, there's going to be no. You're going to know that it's Jesus returning. You know what I mean? Just like, there's a carcass under circling eagles.
But that's usually like just the saying as well, where there's smoke, there's fire. It's the same saying.
That's pretty much exactly what it is. And then it says, immediately after the tribulation, so we've had abomination and desolation, we've gone into the great tribulation, such as never has been before.
You know what's interesting about this, though? Because it says immediately after the tribulation, okay? We always get the Satan sword season is telling us that, and I think it's the 1700s or something, or 1600s, somewhere around there, that the sun became dark, for a year because of a, volcano that erupted and stuff. But that doesn't fit their tribulation, because if they're claiming tribulation in 70 AD, okay, how do this immediately after the tribulation shall the sun be dark? Because how long does the Bible say the Great Tribulation is? 7?
Well, it's described as 7, but like,
but 3.5.
Split into 2 in it, like, so from what I gather, like, there's the first 3.5's like the son of perdition, coming as a savior, being good, bringing peace.
And the last 3.5 is when the
falls for it, everybody's worshipping him, and then at that 3.5 year mark, it turns on everybody.
Yeah, that's how it looks to me. So that's what it says. So when it says immediately after the tribulation, and if they claim 70 AD was the abomination of desolation, that means by 77 AD, the tribulation should be finished. That's when the moon should have been darkened and the sun should have been darkened. But yet they claim it's happening in the 1600s and 1700s.
Yeah, but this is a problem I'm finding when, like, everybody's a different opinion on it. Like, I'm pretty sure JT says Jesus returned in 70 AD.
Yeah. How? But how if it does?
How does he return in 70 AD if 70 AD is the abomination of desolation?
Yeah, and the tribulation still has to happen.
Another 7 years after that, before Christ returns, so he can't have returned in 70 AD. No.
So that alone goes against everything they say.
But it's just so convoluted and so twisted that they're bringing things outside of Bible into it,
And this is also something I want to point out. Remember, it's not saying just at hand, quickly, or whatever. It's saying immediately. So it's giving a time frame to say what's happening. Where usually when it says at hand or come quickly, it's at haste. Well, okay, it's not it's not saying it's going to be now.
Yeah. I think that when this abomination happens and idolatry goes up in temple and sacrifices stuff, I think that's when Jesus comes.
Yeah, immediately after. That's what I said. After that tribulation.
Wrecks it all,
Remember, Jesus
with the brightness of his coming.
Yeah, exactly. He has to destroy the armies of Gog and Magog with the brightness coming, and this is where the Jews have been. After they flee to the mountains, and they are hiding in Petra.
We don't know every little detail, but everything you read is pointing towards not what the short seasoners are saying.
And the irony of this, a lot of scholars and things are, they're looking and they're thinking, well, where would the Jews really flee to? And how it fits with like a sheep's pen and everything. It more or less goes to like Petra in Turkey. And the Satan short seasonists claiming those mountains and stuff where it looks that they might be the only safe place for the Jews to really hide would be where they carved all those great cities in the mountains. And the Satan short seasonists, the irony of this, are claiming those are the melted cities when When Jesus returned and all the cities melted. How are they going to go there if it's already melted due to Jesus already being
It
here?
says like, oh, mountains are turned to wax or something,
Yeah.
like, but there's still mountains.
Yeah, and the mountains will be when Jesus returns. We've got to point this out, guys. When Jesus comes and he puts his feet on the Mount of Olives, there's going to be a great earthquake. Okay, that flattens everything. It gets demolished. The Mount of Olives will be split in two. There is no split in two Mount of Olives. They're still on a mount. They're still on a mount. Everything's still standing exactly like it was when Jesus left.
Yep.
So it's
insanity. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. That's his second coming, the parousia.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the far winds from one end of heaven to the other. I mean, I think that's the rapture.
Yeah, that to me is also the rapture, because that's when Jesus returns. So when
Well,
he
that's
shows
it.
himself on the clouds,
Yeah.
we are hapazoid, you can say, raptured up to the clouds, and we will be witnessing God, defend the Israelites, go and fight against the Gog and Magog armies.
Yeah.
And he will wipe out them with just his voice, with his two-edged sword coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And we will be the witness to this in the clouds. And that's why the parable of the fig tree is also very important, because it is explaining this.
Yeah. So how they fit in all this into 70 AD, I just don't know.
Doesn't fit at all. And this is what I just don't understand, how they keep pushing 70 AD, 70 AD, 70 AD as abomination of desolation when it doesn't fit scriptures at all.
And like, let's be clear, like the destruction of the temple were done by Romans.
Yes.
We see all through Old Testament God judging Israel with other nations. Look at Babylon and that.
Yeah, but
Jesus didn't return in 70 AD and set up the abomination in the temple and then destroy it and then come back and have tribulation all in 70 AD. It's just not fair.
and I mean, we've also said this before. There's always patterns in the Bible that happens as well. Okay, the Jews disobey God, they get judged. Then the Jews disobey God again, they get judged. Okay, the second temple destruction was the judgment because they rejected Jesus. Okay, they carried on doing their things even though Jesus revealed himself to them. So it was the destruction of the temple and everything was because of their disobedience. It wasn't the abomination of desolation. The abomination of desolation is a total different thing. The abomination of desolation is simply the Antichrist taking a stand in God's holy place. Okay? And Jesus is going to use this event to make the Jews open their eyes and see, wow, okay, Jesus is the actual Messiah. Yep. We let him go. And that's why I think it's important to read Romans 11.
That this son of perdition is the actual real Messiah.
Mm-hmm. That's, I think we should read Romans 11.
We all then, like, he's not going to be someone with, like, a bad history who's been doing bad. He's going to come, like, in a false purity, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's going. That's why I said to the quote unquote Christians of that day, he's going to appear as Jesus. To the Muslims, he'll appear as the Mahdi. He'll come as their great Messiah. To the Hindus, as whoever. He's going to come as everybody's type of God.
Yeah. So if we just go back to this what Banjo are sharing 26, 27 AD, the end of the 69th week, start of the just don't fit with Jesus' baptism. I'm sorry, like, but
Mm-hmm. It doesn't fit as
it's
well. I don't know if you want to bring up Josephus' letter. Um,
yeah.
okay, this
So
is. But before you do that, I just want to also quickly share.
am I not sharing that?
No, no, no. So I'm just quickly sharing Romans 11.
Yep.
So I'm going to let's go from 23. And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For God is able to graft them in again. This is talking about Israel, guys.
Yeah.
Because remember, they were thrown off when they rejected. For if thou wert cut off of the olive tree, and wert wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to the nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? 25. For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness is happened to Israel. You see, they're blinded.
Yeah.
Israel is blinded until
Yeah.
the fullness of the Gentiles is to come. That's why we're saying we're still in the days of the Gentiles, guys. The days of the Gentiles is going to be fulfilled when the Antichrist has revealed himself. Okay?
Yeah, because like the blindness untended yet, so we must still be in fullness of the Gentiles.
Exactly. That's why I said earlier, the fact that the Jews aren't saved yet already shows we're not in Satan's season.
Yep.
Because when Satan's season comes, there won't be any Jews, guys. Everybody's going to be a Christian or not a Christian. There's not going to be Jews or Hindus or Muslims or whatever. You either part with God, Christian, or you were part of, away from him, made your choice to be with Satan. That's it.
Yeah. By that point, like you've had all this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There is only two sides, and you need to make
A choice. Mm-hmm.
while you're alive, really.
Yeah. So once the age of the Gentiles is completed, this is what's very interesting. And so all of Israel shall be saved. All of Israel. Does it say some?
No.
All of Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of the Sion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, that I shall take away their sins. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sake. And this is why I really make it very important for the people that are against the Jews.
Against Israel, yeah.
You are against God's people. You're going against God's word. And you really have to look into your heart to realize if you're really taking a proper path.
Yeah. And it also speaks about all nations being against Israel, which we're starting to see it happen.
Right now, at this moment.
Everybody's talking about Israel, hate the Jews, hate Zionism, all this business. But if you were to go back to like 70 AD and that, like, all nations weren't against Israel.
It was the Romans.
It were all localized,
And
you know what I mean?
that's-
It weren't worldwide.
That's also the thing they don't understand, though. You know why the Romans plundered everything in 70 AD? Because it was the uprising of the Jews. The Jews were in the Great Revolt. They were trying to... Remember, they were already under Roman rule that time. So they had the Great Revolt where they tried to overthrow the Romans. But you don't hear the Satan short seasoners talk about that, do you?
I just pray that like events unfolding will snap them out of it. Like,
I hope so. I really do.
It's got to be that way because there's no we're saying or presenting that's changing anybody's minds really, and I believe that's because it's also prophesied that people will start falling for unsound doctrines and heresies.
It's
and
part of the
stuff,
falling away.
It's got to happen. So I think there's only God gonna change their minds.
Yeah, it's part of the great falling away, which we're seeing right now. But I think that's, I mean, like you want an answer from, for instance, Banjo, like which translation says it's the Messiah. I would just like
Yeah.
an answer from every Satan short seasonist out there. Why aren't all the Jews saved?
Yeah. It's a good question, like, you know. The reason I asked that question is just going on strength of what Banjo are presenting, like telling everybody that you're all deceived.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, you're all, if you've fallen for dispensationalism or whatever it is, you're wrong. You're making a mockery of Christianity, I think he said. Did
Yeah,
he
yeah.
not?
He says we're not actual
Yeah.
Christians.
So he's presented a slide where Daniel 9:27 and in brackets in Messiah after E. Now I want to know which translation, which Bible that's come from, because if I were to accept Banjo's right, yeah, then I'm reading a wrong Bible. You're reading a wrong Bible. I want to know what this amazing Bible is so we can all find the truth.
Well, I've got so many Bibles. Not one of my Bibles say what he says. And I mean, I've even got, like I said, I told you I got the 1611 prescription from the William Tyndale, the originals. You know what I mean? 1611. So if it was based on 1611, that means it was written. It was written in the millennial reign.
Let me just grab my modern English version.
Yeah, but I mean that means my 1611 edition was written in the millennial reign according to them. Okay, so would it be a lie then what my Bible's saying? No, my Bible does not clearly say it's Messiah. It's telling us it's the son of perdition. Even if you look at the footnotes, they tell you it's the son of perdition.
Yeah. Right, Daniel 9:27 in modern English version. Wow, there's just small writing. And it says, "And he shall make a firm covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the offering to cease. And on the wing of abominations shall come one who makes desolate,
There we go.
until the decreed destruction is poured out on the desolator."
I mean, how else do we make that? How else do we make that that more clear?
So the one who the one who makes a firm covenant with many for 1 week, and in the middle of that week he shall cause a sacrifice and offering to cease, and on the wing of abomination shall come one who makes desolate. So Banjo's saying that this is Jesus, the one who comes and makes desolate.
Yep.
So if that's the case, then until the decreed destruction is poured out on the desolate, how can Jesus be pouring out on himself?
Yeah. I mean, look what it says in here in my footnotes. This is footnote 3. It's still to be fulfilled to the future under the Antichrist, which says see Matthew 24:15. Now this is supposedly the version written in their millennial reign they're claiming. How?
Sensibility.
I don't get it. Yeah, I think bring up that Josephus letter, because even in there, it's quite telling, because they always bring Josephus up and they're trying to say, you see, Josephus is claiming this, and no, Josephus doesn't claim anything these guys are claiming.
I don't.
Because if you read through his letters, he talks about the claims of chariots or whatever, and saying it's an omen, which they will overcome and overthrow the Jews. And that's what happened, because they were pagans. Remember, the Romans were pagans. They believed in omens and things.
A sword-shaped star.
Yeah, it was more like a vision, an omen
and even
vision.
a comet, I think, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, why would Jesus and his angels be on chariots in the clouds, first of all. The Bible doesn't say Jesus is coming with chariots. Okay? When they claim Jesus in the clouds with chariots, with angels and stuff, and they destroyed the temple. Why would Jesus be fighting with the pagan armies to destroy his chosen people?
Well, why would... What's pointing out angels being there coming as to war, like in chariots and that, but it's actually the Roman army that set fire to the temple and destroyed it. Like, that just don't make any sense.
Doesn't make
either.
sense.
Why is it?
But what you're going to read now in chapter 4 is going to actually totally demolish the claim that they're making that it is abomination desolation by the Romans as well, because some people do say it's not, Jesus, as Banjo, unfortunately, which he says, but other ones say it's Titus. And we've also had Nero as well.
Nero. So which is it? Is it Nero, Titus, or Jesus? Absolutely insane. But what's the sign when Jesus comes in Matthew 24? You'll see the sign of the Son of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Not signs of chariots, not signs of stars that look like swords. You see the sign of the Son of Man.
Exactly. Are you going to bring up the...
Yeah, mate.
But I mean, there's so much wrong with what they're pushing. It's just nothing fits, guys.
So this is from Josephus' Book of War, Book 5, Chapter 4. Shall I read all this?
Yeah, read from there. Because I think it's...
From
otherwise,
3.
they're going to say you cherry picking. So read from 3, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Read the whole 3.
It's hard to read, that's all. In fact, let me make it a bit
Otherwise,
bigger.
I'll read it if you want to. I don't mind.
Oh, go on then.
Okay. But then, on the next day, Titus commanded part of his army to quench the fire and make a road for the more easy marching up to the legions, while he himself gathered the commanders together. For those there were assembled the 6 principal persons, Tiberius Alexander, the commander under the general of the whole army, with Sextus Caecilius, the commander of the 5th legion, and Lucius Lepidus, the commander of the 10th legion, and Titus Frigus, the commander of the 15th legion. There was also with them Eternius, the leader of the 2 legions that came from Alexandria, and Marcus Antonius Julianus, procurator of Judah. Sorry, it is quite small, so I have to really look more nice.
That's why I said it's hard to read.
After these came together all the rest of the procurators and tribunes, Titus proposed to these that they should give them their advice. What should be done about the holy house? Now, they're talking about the temple here, guys, okay? Titus is asking, what should we do with this temple? Because, I mean, what's going to happen? He says, now some of these thought it would be the best way to act according to the rules of war and demolish it, because the Jews would never leave off rebelling, okay? They will never leave off rebelling, because as long as it's there, they're going to carry on rebelling. Remember, that's what I was saying. The Jews were in a revolt. They were doing an uprising. That's why the Romans did what they did, because the Jews were in a revolt. Okay, they were under Roman rule at that time. While that house was standing, at which the house it was, that day they used to get all together. Others of them were of opinion that in case the Jews would leave it, and none of them would lay their arms up in it, he might save it, but that in case they go upon it and fought any more, he might burn it. You see, because he burned it roller so they wouldn't fight for it anymore. Because it must then be looked upon that not as an holy house, but as a citadel, and that the impiety of burning it would then belong to that forced to this to be done, and not to them. But Titus said that, although the Jews should get upon that holy house and fight us thence, yet ought not to revenge ourselves on things that are inanimate. So it doesn't even bother him. It just,
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
basically saying why bother with an inanimate building
yeah,
like it's
exactly.
pointless.
So they're having the discussion. It's better just to burn it so that they would not rebel anymore. That's it. That's the only reason they burnt it. Okay. Instead of the
But,
men, yeah,
yeah, I was just gonna say, but Titus ain't in the inclination to want to even bother like destroying it.
exactly. He didn't even want to destroy it in the first place. And then it was just cancelled, and they said, okay, maybe we should just destroy it because as long as it's standing, they're going to rebel. That was it. There's no mention of, hey, let's do abomination of desolation and, do No.
I know. I don't think they were destroying Jerusalem. I don't think they'd have been bothered about sacrificing stealing temple and setting up a new altar to a
Exactly.
Roman god and start sacrificing. They were in battle.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This was not about trying to get rid of Jewish gods and all this stuff. It was just simply because the Jews were in revolt. They were trying to overcome the Roman Empire. They were trying to fight. This was the Romans fighting back and making them understand their place. And now they're trying to. The people are taking this now and saying, "Oh, you see, it's the abomination of desolation." No, it's not. Nothing about this is the abomination of desolation. But let me just finish 3 quickly. Almost done. Instead of the men themselves, and not he, was not in any case for burning down so vast a work as that was, because this would be a mischief to the Romans themselves, as it would be a commandment of the government while it continued. So Francto and Alexander and Caecilius grew bold upon the declaration, and agreed to the opinion of Titus. Then this was assembly dissolved. Then Titus had given orders to the commander that the rest of the forces should lie still, but that they should make us of the such that were not most courageous in the attack. So he commanded that the chosen men that were taken out of the cohorts should make their way through the ruins and quench the fire.
So does Titus really sound like this Antichrist?
No.
It
He
just
sounds.
doesn't, does it?
He actually just sounds like an honorable Roman general trying to do his job. That's it.
I mean, when you look at what happened between Pilate and Jesus, Pilate weren't bothered about killing Jesus. You know what I mean? He
No.
didn't want to do it.
He washed his hands of it
Yeah.
because he saw he was innocent. So yeah, it's it's something else, man.
Very interesting stuff.
So we can also say that if they do like bringing up Josephus, we can clearly tell them Josephus is not even supporting their narrative.
I mean, I know Jesus did say that it'd make their house desolate. He didn't say abomination of desolation.
But that's
This was the judgment.
which desolation came.
Because they weren't using temple how they should be. You know what I mean? They made it an house of merchandise. Remember?
Yeah, Jesus went and turned the tables over.
Jesus like, well, if you're going to be abusing my father's house like this, you're not going to have one.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's why it was destroyed. That was the judgment on Israel.
But but you see they link also abomination to desolate. Those are two different things. The desolation comes because of the abomination through the Antichrist, but in the 70 AD, desolation came through judgment of Jesus for because the Jews disobeyed. Okay, there was no abomination with that desolation. The desolation came through the Romans destroying it. That's it.
It's just like it's not about Jesus' second coming, is it?
No.
Honor it.
No.
You
Because when Jesus said he will rebuild the temple in 3 days, he was talking about his body, guys. Because in 3 days he rose. So yeah.
Let me stop sharing that. So pretty much done now.
Yeah, that's
Is that what you want?
yeah. I know that's all I wanted to do as well. I think it's very clear though what we're saying, and I just think people have to start being honest with themselves.
But
It's as simple as that.
everybody's responsible for their own discernment at the end of the day, Keith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's only going to be you and Jesus
Amen.
on judgment, and there's only going to be me and Jesus on JT's not going to be holding your hand. Banjo's not going to be holding your hand. They're going to be stood there on their own as well.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So everybody's responsible for their own walk with God, their own discernment. I can't make people believe what I'm suggesting, and a Satan short seasoner should not be making you believe what they want you to believe. You know, you're responsible to do this yourself.
Amen. Exactly.
But all I'm trying to offer you is, look, there's contradictions in what they're saying.
Yeah,
And these contradictions aren't just small, tiny little things that you can overlook. They're serious contradictions.
very bad. Yeah.
You know? They want to claim Jesus when he said, "This generation shall not pass." He's talking to the people alive at the time of Jesus, but yet most of the disciples died before 70 AD.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were even still persecuted afterwards in the so-called millennial reign. I mean, John of Patmos got revelation after 70 AD. You know, there's just so much things that don't make sense. But I mean, all we can do at the end of the day is just present the truth to everybody. And like I said, we're not trying to attack anybody, okay? We're just trying to simply bring the truth out there. And
I tried to get in. I left a comment to Banjo under one of his comments. It commented under my perspective at Rory. He left a comment there, so I commented underneath and I says, "Hey Banjo," because this was just after he'd been speaking to JT. I wanted to speak to him privately and tell him what I knew.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But totally ignored.
No, he ignores us. But that's the thing what I was saying when you left earlier now. He mentions, for instance, me, okay? Banjo he'll mention me, or even JT, they'll mention me in a stream, but they will not converse with us.
No.
So they do know we're talking about this. They do know.
Well, we're mentioning them, but the difference is I'd be willing to talk to them.
Yeah, I mean, like JT said, I'm not going to give you a platform. Nobody said anything about a platform. We just have a talk. We can have a private talk. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're just trying to push truth. We're trying to everybody to get the truth, because I feel as a Christian, I can't just sit back and watch heretical doctrine being pushed on people, because people falling for this, unfortunately, becomes a salvation issue. Because as we've been saying, they have a very big chance of accepting the Antichrist as Jesus in the latter days, which we really are. We're in those end time days. And if they fall for doctrines like this based on man, their blood is on these people's hands.
Yep.
And I know I don't want to stand before Jesus one day and say, yeah, I could have done something or tried and did nothing. I want God to say, "Welcome, my good and faithful servant." That's what I want. I don't want to feel guilty and say, I could have preached the truth to this person, but I refused.
But you look at it this way, though, like it's a bit like when I think Vicky said it the other night. To be honest, you know, if we're wrong, we haven't really got out to lose. But if an atheist's wrong, then he's going to hell.
Yeah.
And it's a similar thing. Like if we're wrong that Jesus already returned, what harm does it do?
Nothing.
You know, it's already all major things have happened. You know, like what we're waiting for, judgment. That's all we're waiting for, isn't it?
Yeah, but even that doesn't fit.
If we're right, there's a good chance that the ones who think Jesus already returned might fall for market beast. You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. Because look at Eddie already making a point by claiming he is the Messiah in Daniel 9:27. So that already makes a point that they have a very good chance of accepting the Antichrist as Jesus. It's a dangerous game to play on.
It is.
Very
It
dangerous.
is.
But yeah, I think it's still important that we do these series and get out to as much people as possible. And anybody watching us, please just like these videos, because liking it alone just helps the algorithm to get pushed out further to a bigger audience, so people can see the truth, or share it to other platforms or whatever, or just take this information and make your own content based. Just do something about it. We can't just let it be. You know what I mean? It has to get out to people.
Above all, study your Bible.
Oh yeah.
And if you can determine whether the short seasons are correct or not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding of Bible is it's bunkum. You know.
I agree. And that's why the Bible says, test all things. Even test what we say, guys. Don't just trust what we say. Don't just take it. Because at the end of the day, like Mark says, it's you and God. No one else. God's not going to stand there and say, oh, well, that guy misled you, so it's... No. God's going to say, did you do your due diligence? Did you test all things? Did you listen to the Holy Spirit? He's not going to say, oh, no, it's okay. That guy he deceived you, so it's fine. No. You make your own choices.
Yep.
No one holds your hand at judgment.
No. Not at all.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this was an important discussion again, and I think it gives people a few things to go and think through. So yeah, we're just like...
It's just not as clean cut, is it, as they'd like people to believe,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even last night, I saw that Demon Slayer dude that talks a lot to JT. They do podcasts practically every night together, or whatever. I saw they were live last night, so I went on there and commented. To say, okay, would you like to have a discussion? Because, JT doesn't have a discussion. And anyway, as soon as I said, hello, do you want to discuss? Oh, then he started ending his stream and ignored me and then stopped the stream. Yeah. They were having a nice discussion, and all of a sudden, as I get and say, hey, do you want to have a discussion? I tag him. And it's like, oh, no, I think I'm going to end now, and then blah, 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 and then ended the stream.
Very strange.
And that happened to me with JT also a few weeks ago. He was live. I go, I want to ask him. Ignores me as soon as I get an ask. He's like, oh, he's going to end the stream now. So, yeah, I don't get it. Everybody I'll ask, Jason Jack, Eddie Banjo, JT,
I'd like
Demon
to know
Slayer,
who the
Shadestone.
instigator. I'd like to know who the instigator is for this. Like, who's come up with
Who's
this?
the original?
It's come from a man.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. So I'd like to know where it's come from.
Yeah. Because someone has been instigating this and just pushing this. And yeah, guys, this is a cult, unfortunately. It's really a cult following being built up.
It's seeming that way, like, when all you get is called names.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But, yeah. Thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks, Michael.
No worries.
Till next time, guys. Just read your Bibles.
Yep.
Till next time, may the blessings be with you. God bless. Cheers.